Hi, my name is Vera Mays and I'm with the Learning Commons here at TCC. So today my goal is to talk to you a little bit about the resources at TCC and the services, and then we're going to do a little bit of math, something you'll probably see your first week here at campus. We're going to talk about calculators and other services on campus. So here we go. All right, so just to talk about our face-to-face hours, we're here Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Sorry, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And on Fridays, we do close a little bit early at 5. But I am going to tell you about a way that you can still get help even after hours. We still are in the middle of a pandemic, so we are still trying to practice some social distancing. We will also have masks available. We have hand sanitizers and wipes available. So we just ask that everybody is respectful of everyone else's spaces and choices. All right, so we're going to start off our big meaty part of the session with looking at a short video where our director tells you a little bit about the Learning Commons.
The Learning Commons at Tallahassee College, your one-stop shop learning support center. The Learning Commons provides tutoring conferences, academic success coaching, virtual resources, and computer access to all enrolled TCC students. The Learning Commons offers tutoring conferences in reading and writing for all classes, mathematics, sciences, business, English skills, Spanish, and technology. Our staff of highly trained learning specialists and tutors are happy to assist students with their current classes in person or virtually using online platforms such as Zoom, Smart Thinking, or email. Academic success coaching in the Learning Commons is offered to all students to help them advance their college success skills, navigate the new college environment, and achieve their academic and personal goals. Work with an academic success coach one-on-one to sharpen your time management, study skills, or online learning. Or you can join us for one of our success workshops offered throughout the semester. Follow us on social media, on MyTCC, and keep up with our latest events by checking out the calendar on our homepage. The Learning Commons hosts a number of events, including boot camp, an introduction to many of our first-year courses, test reviews for some of our most popular math and science classes, and our Recharge Workshop series to help you brush up on your test-taking, motivational, and writing skills. We look forward to working with you soon.
All right, so I hope that helped give you a short overview, a brief idea, and you can always stop by and ask more questions and find out if we have something, if we don't mention it today. All right, so then you're in Mac 1105 or Mac 1105C. I want to talk to you very specifically about what we have for your class. And I'm going to show you how to get to all the instructional handouts and bookmarks. We do have live test reviews throughout the semester, and we already have previously recorded ones on our Learning Commons website. So if you want to get a jump on preparing for a test, you can watch those at any time. Some of your Mac 1105C classes will have embedded support from the Learning Commons, whether it's providing resources or actually participating in your class and helping with group activities. In addition, we like calculators. So if you have a challenge and you can't figure something out, bring it in and we'll figure it out. There's really only two things that we're not allowed to help with. And one is if your instructor gives you a take-home quiz or test, and it doesn't specifically say on there you may receive help from the Learning Commons, we cannot help you with it. And if you miss class, we are not able to help and provide that material, that instruction. Go to your instructor and then come see us once you've played with a little bit, and let's see what you still need help with. All right, so as I said, I'm going to show you where these resources are on the TCC website. So, and actually I'm going to go back one step or two. If we go to the main website and you go to resources, look for the Learning Commons, and then you're to the page where you can sign up for tutoring, you can find resources. We have a 360 virtual tour on our website. So there's all kinds of fun things here. We're going to look at tutoring and resources, which is towards the top left. Now, on the first thing you see on the page is if you're ready to sign in for tutoring, go ahead and click this link. You can also download the app, and that will make it quicker for you. And the QLS app will tell you how long the wait might be. It'll let you know when you're next, and it will let you also know when it's your turn to receive services. So of all the topics that we can get help with, we're going to choose math today. And on this page, there is a tab for each math class. Now, you may be struggling with something in college algebra that really was a topic that was introduced previously. So going and finding the foundational material is never a bad idea. Come in and work with a tutor, and we can probably get you up to speed. So let's look at college algebra. One of our student favorite book is our bookmark. And this has all the formulas that you need this semester. And there's several other great bookmarks. There's lots of handouts on all the topics, extra practice, some random content videos on things you're going to be doing this semester. And then here are all of those previously recorded test reviews that I mentioned. So if our test review, you're ready to start participating and working on your test review and it's not time yet, go ahead and come to these. You can do these on your own schedule. And then if you go back to our main page, let me go back one layer or two. You can also sign up for the success coaching here that she mentioned. You get $4 of printing credit every semester. Or if you want to come and sign in and actually participate live the next boot camp, you can sign up for that here. All right, so let's go back to this. Now I'm actually going to wait on Smart Thinking and show you about that when we go to the Canvas shell. All right, so Canvas, this is where you'll find a Canvas shell for each of your courses here at TCC. As instructors, we're required to put syllabi there. We're required to put grades there. There is a link to that online tutoring that I mentioned, and I'm going to show you where to find that. If there's something important happening in the class, you'll find it in the announcement sections, but the modules is really generally where the meat is. So let's go ahead and go to a Canvas shell. All right, sorry. Okay, here we go. So this is a Canvas shell from one of the math classes that I've taught recently. And you can see at the top, there's the announcements. So every week I put in something about what was happening, what was due, if we had to change a due date. It's a good communication tool. The syllabus was there, and Canvas will take my syllabus and generate a time management kind of thing to help you knowing when everything is due, so you can kind of keep track. It'll also remind you how much weight each category carries. Grades are there. I'm not going to open it because I have real grades in there. But if you're doing online quizzing, there'll be a link for that. If you're in an online class that's using HonorLock, you'll find that here. Study Edge videos to help you. There's the Smart Thinking online tutoring. So I'm going to go there real quickly just to show you what it looks like. And it's going to take a minute to see what's set up on your computer. Are you ready to go? What's next? And so I need tutoring. So I'm going to click on tutoring and math. So you can see there's a variety of things here. You can choose a drop-in. You can schedule something in future, or you can just submit a question. So let's go to math tutoring. And you can see you can pick the areas that you need help with. And once you open it up, if someone is available right there, right away, it's ready to go. It opens up a whiteboard and you can write on it. You can do texting, you can do drawings. There is a little camera at the top where you can take a picture. And as soon as I put something on here, a real live person will be there to answer my questions. So that's Smart Thinking. Let's go back to where the meat is for most courses. Sorry, in session. Okay, modules. So there's a module generally about the Learning Commons, about resources. Some teachers will put in PowerPoints for the lessons that you're going to have each week, each day. Even if you're online, those should be there for you as a resource. In this particular semester, I was working on time management. So I had a module on time management for my students. Anything that I want to share with you, any resource, anything, any activity that you need to do will generally be in the modules. Now for math, we have notes typically, we have a link to a textbook, we have videos, and then your homework's going to be here too. And so I might as well open one and show you. When you go to Lumen, which is the thing that we use for our homework, there's going to be a blank for the answer. And when you click in that blank, if they think you need some other alternative keys or things to make typing the answer easier, it will automatically open up here under functions, whatever course you're in. There'll be things that will help you, absolute values, parentheses, fractions. And then if you want to check your answer, you can do that with the little key. And what Lumen gives us the ability to do is let you try the problems 3 times. And if you're still struggling with that problem, it will show you the answer. You can think about it, work on it with a tutor, and then you can say, give me a similar question. So you can continue to work these exercises until you get 100 or until you run out of time or energy. All right, so I think that's pretty much everything. Some people will have a discussion post. Every instructor is a little bit different, but the meat will typically, the most important things will be at the very top. All right, and so I mentioned about the different things in Lumen where you can open it and get lots of options. All right, so calculators. Calculators in this course are very, very important. Some teachers will like you to have a handheld calculator. Some teachers will really appreciate the free online calculator that I'm going to talk about. So be sure you understand your teacher, what resources you have, and whether you can or cannot use each particular type. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the calculator, and I'm going to bring up one of our emulators real quickly. Sorry. Thought I had this. Oh, here it is. So most of you will be most of you will be using a TA 83 or 84 or the online calculators. And so I want to show you a little bit about how it looks and what to look for. One of the important things we like to talk about is changing a decimal to a fraction. So let me just take something. Okay, and this is going to give me a decimal answer. And so I'm not sure where I put the answer. If I don't want a decimal, then I can say, okay, let's go to math. And you can see the first option is fraction. I'm going to choose 1. And then I'm going to hit enter. And it will change my decimal to a fraction if there is one that makes sense for that particular entry. Another thing that we want to talk about is the difference between this little negative here in the parentheses and the minus sign. So if a number is at the beginning of an equation or sentence, you want to use the little bitty one in parentheses. And then if it's really subtracting a number, then you want to go up and use the minus. All right. In this course, one of the most important things you're going to be doing is looking at graphs and looking at their behavior and how they move and what they look like. So we're going to go to the top left and to the y equals. And I'm going to clear what I had. And I'm going to put just some random 2. Here's our x's right up here. 2x plus 5. And I'm going to tell it to graph. And it's going to say, okay, here. And if you don't see what you want, you might be able to go to the window and say, okay, I want my x's to go from 0 to 50, or from -10 to 10, or similar to using like a camera or your phone when you're taking pictures, you can do a zoom out or a zoom in. And if you totally lose it, go to zoom 6. It'll get you standard back to like a -10 by 10. So you're looking at it, you can use the trace to actually find different places on the graph and look at it. So you'll be able to look at maxes and mins. Eventually, you'll be able to look at a picture and say, when is something increasing? When is something decreasing? All right, so those are some of my very favorite keys. If you need something that you don't see, go to the math button. You can see there's a lot of options here. There's a cubing something built into it. There's a cube root. If you have like a fifth root, fourth root, something like that, you can use this little X one. If you go to calculus, there's more down here. This calculator also is good if you're going to be taking statistics. Maybe you're a business major. So this is definitely something that you want to be familiar with, how to use your calculator and how to graph. All right. So now we're going to go back to the PowerPoint. And so that's if you buy a handheld calculator. Let's say your teacher's okay using the online free calculator. This one that there's multiple ones out there, but the one that we've really fallen in love with on campus is Desmos, DESMOS.com. It's easy to type things into the box, similar to what I just showed you with the y equals. You get a lovely picture. You can find points easily on the graph. It will also convert a decimal to a fraction very easily. If you don't see this little bump out with all the keys, look for a little keyboard, click on it, and it will give you so many more options. I love Desmos, and so if you want some help using it, come on into the Learning Commons. The tutors and I like to play with this. Okay, so we've reached the point in our program today where we're going to do some math. And now what I've chosen is exponents, because this is something that may be a review for most of you. You might need a little bit of rust brushed off. So I'm going to do some very basic problems. And then you're going to get deeper problems and more pieces to them when you actually go to class. But I kind of wanted just to get you thinking a little bit of math. So there are 5 basic rules that we're going to look at. The first one is, what if we have something that has something to the 0 power? So the rule says, I don't care who you are. If your exponent, I don't care what the base is, if your exponent has a 0, you are always going to get a value of 1. In particular, I don't know, let's say I put a flower to the 0 power, I'm still going to get 1. It doesn't matter what my base is, only the exponent in this one. All right, so the next one is talking about negative exponents and how to rewrite them if we get a negative exponent. So for some reason, we have a rule from way back. We don't like negative exponents. And so we want to think about every number is potentially a fraction. Sometimes it's just over 1. There's nothing in the bottom. And so what we're going to do is invert that. Put the 1 on top, bring the 4 to the bottom. And now you notice I've gotten rid of the negative exponent by changing its level. So if I have now, I can simplify this and I have something where it's 1 over 16. Let me show you this with letters. So let's say I had x to the negative 2 and y to the negative 5. Well, neither one of these are happy at the layer they are in. So the one that's on top really wants to go to the bottom. Its inverse would pop him down here. This one on the bottom would like to go to the top. And now they both have positive exponents, and I can continue with my problem, or maybe I'm done here, and that's my final answer. The next rule we're going to talk about is, what if you're multiplying things that have a like base? Well, you notice here, they both have a base of 2. So I keep the base. I don't multiply 2 times 2, but I just keep the base. And then I can add their exponents. And if it's a small enough number, you can just go to your calculator. We know that like this would be 2 using the little caret or the thing that looks like a rooftop, and then put the power in. Okay, the next rule talks about, what if I have some division in my problem? So division goes with subtraction. You notice multiplication went with addition. So division is paired up with subtraction. All right, so numbers, the number part, we're going to do exactly like we would have done before when we were just dealing with numbers. Ask ourselves, is there some factor that goes into both? If you put this in your calculator, it'll automatically reduce it for you. If you want to do it by hand, you can kind of think, well, 3 goes into 3 one time and into 12 4 times. And so my answer with my number part is just a 4 on top. We could put the 1, but we really don't need to, because dividing by 1 or multiplying by 1 does not change your identity. All right, so let's look at this x squared and this x to the 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we've talked about if something's the same on top and bottom, we can cancel it. So I have 2 of the x's that would cancel out with 2 of the ones on bottom. And so now if I look ahead and see what's left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have x to the 5th. So that's one way to do this problem, thinking about where the large amount of x's are, and that's where you're going to be anchored. So I've used 7 minus 2 to give me a 5. Let's say you didn't recognize where they were to begin with. Let me do the other way to do this. So if you're looking at x to the 2nd over x to the 7th, x to the 2 minus 7 gives us x to the negative 5. But you remember rule number 2, we're not allowed to leave a negative exponent. So we're going to bring that down, put it on the bottom, put a 1 on top so that we all can communicate. And we know that the x's went to the bottom. All right. So now the last type I just want to do a brief with is if you have a grouping symbol. And I kind of like to do one thing at a time so it doesn't overwhelm my brain. So I recommend you take each individual thing and deal with it separately. So 3 to the 4th, we can put that in our calculator, or we could use our brain cells, say, okay, that's 9 and 9. So that's going to give me an 81. Using the property of grouping symbols, you keep the base, multiply the exponents. Keep the base, multiply the exponents. So that's 5 different rules that you're going to be talking about the first week. And I kind of want to show you why I chose these. Here is a section that I snipped from the first set of homework. And if you notice, here's something exactly like we just did. The bases are the same. And so then I add the exponents. Here's one with the grouping symbol. So I have a, but then I'm going to do 9 times 2. So a to the 18th. There's another grouping symbol within a grouping symbol. So each piece of this is to the 3rd power. So when I look at this, I'm going to always do the inside first. In math, we always kind of focus on the inside. So I would have 2 raised to the 5th times an x raised to the 5th. And so that gives me, I'm just going to leave it like that without it, expanding it yet. So then I go ahead and use the rule. It says, again, multiply by the outside exponent number. So 2 to the 15th times x to the 15th. And 2 to the 15th is a really pretty big number. So you notice in the directions it says, do not simplify further. So we're going to leave it just like that. Okay, the last thing that I want to finish up with is talking a little bit about other resources on campus. So one of the things that is important if you're doing an online class or a Zoom class, you might need access to a laptop or a webcam, or if your teacher's using HonorLock for testing, you can check those out from the library. If you go to their page, it's very clearly marked. There's a form you fill out and they work to get it to you. One other fun thing that happens on campus is that we have free teeth cleaning. We have students in a dental hygiene program, and that's one of the ways they can get experience in to help get their certifications. And then I want you, when you get a chance, go look under Student Resource Center on our website. You'll find things like the fact that we have a food pantry, we have a Veterans Center on campus, lovely Veterans Center, a great space. We have a STEM center for students that are majoring in math and science areas. We have, trying to think what else. Of course, we have a gym where you can go if you want to get some physical activity. So there are a lot of other places on campus with other resources. I also want to mention, we have, if you're really struggling mentally, we do have mental health counselors, whether it's just stress of being in college or stress from your job, stress from your roommate, anything like that, they will work with you. They're a nice neutral service. So, and all of these are free for you at TCC. All right, I want to thank you today for sticking with me, and I hope that what we've done helps you, especially get acclimated the first week. And at least now you know who to go to ask. If you have some question, even if you think it's some off-the-wall question, come see us. We're happy to help you figure out where the resources are and who you can talk to on campus.